Welcome, my friend. Settle in. Let the blankets rest softly around you. Let your breathing slow just a little. Tonight, we will take a long, quiet journey. A journey into the winter nights of old Europe. Back to a time when candles warmed the dark, when villages slept beneath snow, and Christmas was a simple, humble season, filled with songs, small traditions, and quiet hope for the returning sun. As you listen, imagine the soft crunch of footsteps on fresh snow. Imagine warm lamplight glowing through wooden shutters. Imagine distant church bells drifting across a sleeping valley. This is not a story of grand events or famous kings. It is a story of everyday people, living gently through the cold months, and making meaning in small, tender ways. So take a slow breath in, and let us step softly into the past. The winter landscape. Imagine you are standing in the heart of old Europe, perhaps in the mountains of Germany, or in a quiet English countryside, or the snowy fields of Poland or Scandinavia. The year is somewhere between the Middle Ages and the early 1800s. There is no electricity, no cars, no bright streetlights. Only the pale winter sky, the crunch of snow, and the faint smell of wood smoke curling from the chimneys. The days are short. The nights are long and deep. People wake in darkness and return to darkness again by late afternoon. Winter is a gentle, slowing force. Work continues, but it softens. And because the world outside grows still, the world inside the home grows warm. Christmas in old Europe is not just a single day. It is a season shaped by old beliefs, old fears, old joys, stretching from early December to the quiet days of early January. As the night grows quiet around us, let us take a slow walk into this world. The early Advent season. In old Europe, Christmas begins with Advent. Today, we think of Advent calendars and candles. But long ago, Advent was a gentle, reflective time. A time of waiting, of stillness. A time of preparing the home and the heart for the winter celebration. Imagine a small medieval cottage. A simple wooden table. A fire glowing softly in the hearth. Outside, frost gathers on the windows. Inside, the family prepares for Advent by cleaning the home, mending clothes, and planning the winter meals that will last until spring. No one rushes. Everything moves with the slow rhythm of winter. In some regions, people fasted, eating plainer meals to help focus the mind. In others, families would hang evergreens, simple branches of fir, holly, or ivy, believed to bring protection, luck, and a touch of life into the sleeping season. Before Christmas was fully Christian, these evergreens were symbols of the old winter festivals. But in time, they became part of the new celebrations. Quiet green reminders that even in the coldest month, life rests just beneath the surface. As you imagine these early Advent nights, picture a soft, almost sacred hush. A family gathered close, candles swaying gently. A sense of waiting, not with impatience, but with calm anticipation. A slow walk through a village preparing for Christmas. Let's take a gentle walk now, through a small village. The snow is crisp under your feet. The rooftops are white. Smoke rises slowly from chimneys and disappears into the quiet winter air. You pass by a baker's house. Inside, the baker is preparing dough for special holiday breads, rich, sweet, fragrant with spices that were once precious luxury items. Cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, all arriving from faraway lands, traveling slowly along ancient trade routes to reach this tiny village. A little farther down the lane, you see a woodcarver shaping small toys, Simple horses, wooden dolls, little animals. Gifts not for sale, but for his own children. Gifts were small in old Europe. Handmade, often practical, sometimes edible. They were meant to warm the heart, not to overwhelm it. As the wind curls around the corners of stone houses, you hear a distant group of children singing. Old carols, some joyful, some haunting and ancient. Melodies passed from generation to generation. The sun begins to set. The sky becomes a deep blue, then a peaceful black. Windows shine with candlelight, and the village slips into the quiet embrace of a winter evening. St. Nicholas and his old companions, long before Santa Claus, traveled the world with flying reindeer. Europe had its own winter visitors. St. Nicholas, Sinterklaas, Father Christmas, Old Man Winter, the Christkindl, Belsnickel, and many others with names whispered in dialects now forgotten. Imagine it is early December. Children polish their shoes and place them by the door or the hearth. They hope St. Nicholas will come during the night and leave a sweet treat, a small fruit, a nut, or a piece of gingerbread. In some regions, he is kind and gentle. In others, he is accompanied by a mischievous figure. Not frightening, but a playful reminder to behave well. These characters vary from place to place. Some carry bells. Some carry sacks of toys. Some wear fur or robes or wreaths of ivy. Their purpose is simple: to bring a spark of wonder to the long, dark winter. Picture the hush of a December night. A child waking at dawn to find an orange left in their shoe. A precious treasure in a world where fruit in winter was rare and magical. This is the quiet wonder of early Christmas traditions. Inside the home, preparing for the feast. As Christmas draws near, the home becomes a place of warm activity. Imagine stepping inside a timber house on a late December afternoon. The fire glows softly. Pots simmer gently on the hearth. Someone stirs honey into warm milk. Someone else kneads dough for the Christmas bread that will rise slowly through the night. The scent of spices fills the air. Cinnamon, cardamom, dried citrus saved from autumn. Families prepare what they can afford. Some homes enjoy rich meats and cheeses. Others rely on simple dishes: porridge, bread, apples dried in the summer sun. But no matter how humble, every table is set with care. People believe that Christmas Eve was a night of blessing, a night when animals spoke, when spirits of goodwill wandered the earth, when miracles were gentle and small, and meant only to comfort. So food was shared. Neighbors exchanged small offerings. Even the poorest families found a way to offer something warm to someone in need. There is a deep quiet to these old traditions, a softness, a kindness that arrives without hurry. As the night grows quiet, as the night deepens, and you imagine candles flickering in old wooden homes, let your mind rest gently here. The snow is falling softly outside. The fire is steady. The world is unhurried. We are moving slowly, step by step, through the winter customs of old Europe. And soon in part 2, we will explore Christmas Eve, the midnight traditions, old superstitions, songs that warmed the long nights, and the gentle rhythms of Christmas Day, as it was lived centuries ago. For now, let your breath soften. Let your shoulders loosen. Let the quiet of the old world settle around you like a warm blanket. Imagine now that the long days of preparation are over. The candles are trimmed. The food is ready. The home is warm and gently lit. It is Christmas Eve in old Europe, a night believed to be unlike any other. The world outside is still. The snow glows faintly beneath the moonlight. Every sound seems softer, as if nature itself is holding its breath. Families gather in their small homes, sitting close to the fire, sharing simple stories, and speaking in gentle tones. Christmas Eve was often seen as a night of mystery. Not frightening mystery, but the kind that invites wonder. People believe the boundary between the earthly world and the heavenly world grew thin and delicate. Animals, it was said, were able to speak in soft whispers. The spirits of ancestors came close, not to frighten, but to bless the home with peace. In some places, people left a portion of their meal for any wandering spirit of goodwill. In other places, a candle was placed in the window to guide travelers through the dark. Everything was meant to invite warmth, kindness, and a quiet sense that on this night, the world was gently touched by something sacred. Imagine yourself sitting in that room, the fire popping softly, the smell of fresh bread, the gentle murmurs of family around you, a sense of stillness settling like soft snow. This is Christmas Eve, as it lived in the hearts of old European families. The midnight church bells. As the night moved toward midnight, village bells slowly began to ring, not with urgency, but with a steady, patient voice that drifted across snowy fields and down quiet lanes. People wrapped themselves in cloaks and wool. They walked through the cold night toward the small village church. Picture the scene: a trail of lanterns moving slowly through the dark, their golden lights swaying gently with each step on the frozen ground. Inside the church, candles glowed against stone walls. The air was chilly, but the shared presence of neighbors brought a comforting warmth. Songs filled the space, old carols sung softly, voices blending in the dim winter light. In many regions, the midnight mass was one of the few times the entire community gathered at once. Rich and poor, young and old, all stood together in the same quiet awe. There was hope in the air, and gratitude, and a gentle reminder that even in the darkest season, light returns. When the service ended, people stepped back out into the cold night. The stars seemed brighter, the snow seemed softer, and for a moment, the world felt completely at peace. Returning home after midnight. The walk home after midnight was one of the most cherished moments in the old European Christmas season. Imagine the hush of the village after the bells fall silent. Your breath rises in small clouds of white. The path glimmers beneath the moon. Even the air seems fresh and new. Many families return to a simple feast. Not extravagant, but special. Warm bread, a bit of cheese, a slice of winter apple, maybe a small sweet saved for the occasion. It was believed that Christmas Eve food held a certain blessing, a promise of good fortune and good health for the year to come. Children, sleepy from the late hour, often fell asleep by the hearth, while adults spoke in low, contented voices. Outside, the world rested. Inside, the heart rested too. Christmas morning, a gentle celebration. When morning arrived, there were no frantic rushes for presents, no piles of wrapped boxes. Christmas morning in old Europe was slow, calm, quiet. Families greeted one another with warmth. Some exchanged small homemade gifts: a wooden spoon, a knitted scarf, dried fruit wrapped in cloth. a tiny carved toy. Gifts were symbols, not displays. They carried time and love, not size or cost. Children played softly with their treasures. Parents prepared a simple breakfast. The fire crackled, and outside the world remained still. Under winter's gentle touch, the rest of the day moved slowly. Meals were shared. Stories were told. Songs drifted through the house, like soft threads of memory. Imagine sitting by the hearth, watching embers glow, feeling the warmth on your skin, hearing the sound of quiet contentment, settling into every corner of the home. This was Christmas morning long ago, a celebration of presents, not presents, the 12 days of Christmas. In old Europe, Christmas was not a single day. It was a season, stretching gently beyond December 25th, into the bright, hopeful days of early January. These were the 12 days of Christmas, each day carrying its own small customs, its own gentle joys. Some days were for visiting neighbors. Some were for resting. Some were full of music or storytelling. Some honored old saints, whose names are now quiet echoes in history. The pace remained soft and unhurried. People had survived the darkest nights. They had welcomed light back into the world. And now, they allowed themselves a brief season of warmth, rest, and gratitude. Work slowed. Nights were long and peaceful, and time felt like it softened around the edges. In many homes, evergreens remained in place, as a gentle reminder that winter was only temporary, and spring would come again. Picture yourself walking through a village during these quiet days. Children playing in the snow, lanterns hanging from doorways, a sense of deep calm, touching every stone, every tree, every rooftop. The world was still resting, and so were the people. As the night grows quiet once more, we have moved through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the soft unfolding of the 12 days. But there is still more to explore. In Part 3, we will visit the foods and feasts of old Europe, the winter music, the clothing, decorations, and small charms believed to bring luck, and even the gentle winter games that warmed the long snowy evenings. For now, let your breath drift slowly. Feel your body sink into the softness beneath you. Let the old world's calm settle around you, like a warm winter cloak. Let's step now into the warm heart of the winter home, the place where quiet laughter rises, where spices drift through the air, and where Christmas in the old world was felt most gently and most deeply. Imagine the kitchen of a small European cottage. The fire glows a steady orange. The walls are scented with years of baking and simmering stews. People move slowly, not rushing, as if the whole season invites them to breathe and take their time. Christmas food in old Europe was not abundant in the way we know today. Winter meant careful planning, saving, preserving. Everything was precious. Everything had purpose. But when Christmas arrived, families allowed themselves small luxuries, little tastes of sweetness and warmth, to brighten the coldest part of the year. Picture a bowl of nuts cracked open beside the hearth, slices of dense, sweet bread enriched with dried fruit, a pot of mulled drink, perhaps wine, perhaps cider, gently warmed with cinnamon sticks and cloves. These spices, rare and treasured, were used sparingly in daily life. But at Christmas, a tiny pinch was added to honor the holiday. Imagine the aroma filling the room. Soft, warm, comforting, like a blanket woven from scent and memory. In some regions, families baked a special loaf, that was meant to last through the 12 days of Christmas. In others, they roasted apples or chestnuts until their sweet fragrance drifted out into the winter air. Every dish had a meaning. Bread symbolized life. Fruit symbolized hope. Warm drinks symbolized the hearth, the center of family, of survival, of love. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was hurried. As you picture this slow, steady kitchen, feel how calm it is, how peaceful, how gently the work moves. This is the rhythm of old European holiday cooking, a rhythm shaped not by luxury, but by gratitude. The long winter feasts. Not every home could afford a feast, but when a village or a family managed one, it was cherished. Imagine a long wooden table, lit by flickering candlelight. The flames sway gently each time someone walks past. A soft glow rests on the faces gathered there. The meal begins with silence, not a heavy silence, but a grateful one. People bow their heads. They think of the year behind them, the work they have done, the harvest that carried them into winter. Then slowly the meal begins. Bread is passed from hand to hand. Bowls of warm porridge or stew are shared between neighbors. In some regions, a single roasted animal might be divided among many families, so that everyone receives a piece. In Germany, perhaps there is a dense fruitcake, filled with raisins and nuts. In England, maybe a warm pudding, steamed carefully for hours on the hearth. In Scandinavia, a pot of festive rice porridge, with one almond hidden inside. The guest who finds it is said to receive good fortune for the year ahead. Listen for the soft clinking of wooden spoons, the low hum of gentle conversation, the warm sigh of people relaxing after months of hard winter labor. It is not a loud feast. It is not a grand feast, but it is a deeply human one, the kind of meal that binds people together with simple comfort, music, carols, and the sound of winter. As evening settles over the village, let's walk quietly into the world of Christmas music. Imagine stepping into a small room where a group of villagers gather. Their breath is slow. Their hands are warmed by the fire. Someone begins to hum an old, familiar tune, a melody carried through generations, soft as falling snow. Carols in old Europe were often gentle, sometimes haunting, sometimes joyful in a quiet, peaceful way. Voices blend naturally, without practice, without formality. Just people, singing because it feels warm. In the cold winter night, many songs were simple, meant to be memorized easily, and shared by everyone. Children, elders, neighbors, travelers. Imagine the warmth of that room. Imagine sitting by the fire, as the music drifts around you like a soft blanket. No instruments needed, only human voices, moving slowly through the air. Outside, the snow continues to fall, and the sound of singing touches the stillness of the night, like a small glowing candle. In a vast winter sky, clothing and winter comforts. Now let's take a moment to wrap ourselves in the clothing of the time. Old European winters were cold, colder than many of us know today. Houses had drafts. Fires burned low. Blankets were precious. People dressed in layers, each one carefully made or repaired by someone they loved. Imagine pulling on woolen stockings, knitted by a mother or grandmother. Imagine the weight of a thick linen shirt, the warmth of a heavy wool cloak, fastened with a simple clasp. Scarves were wrapped gently around the neck. Mittens were stitched from scraps of fabric. In some places, fur-lined boots protected feet from deep snow. Children were dressed snugly, often wearing clothes passed down from older siblings or cousins. Every garment carried a story of hands that made it, of winters survived, and of care woven into every thread. Picture yourself now, wrapped in these warm, humble layers. Feel the softness. Feel the weight that comforts rather than burdens. Feel the sense of belonging that comes from wearing something handmade. Winter was harsh, but warmth was created through love, labor, and shared skill. Old decorations and evergreen magic. As we move deeper into the heart of the home, look around at the decorations people used in old Europe. They did not have bright lights or sparkling ornaments, but they had nature, and they used it beautifully. Evergreen branches were placed above doors and windows. Holly, with its bright red berries, brought color to dark rooms. Ivy hung softly from rafters. These decorations were simple, yet full of meaning. Evergreens symbolized life that continued even in winter. A quiet promise that the cold would end and spring would return. In some regions, people shaped wheat into small ornaments as symbols of the harvest. In others, apples were polished until they shone like tiny lanterns and were placed on tables or shelves. Candles were used sparingly, but on Christmas Eve, a few were lit to welcome blessings into the home. Everything felt natural. Nothing felt manufactured. Just soft touches of green, warm touches of light, and the gentle creativity of families making beauty with what they had. As you imagine these decorations, you may feel a bit of that calm simplicity settling around you, a reminder that beauty does not have to be loud. It can be soft and small and deeply comforting. As the fire glows softly, we have walked through the foods, the winter feasts, the music, the clothing, and the decorations that shaped Christmas in the old world. But our journey continues. In Part 4, we will explore old beliefs and gentle superstitions, winter games, stories told around the hearth, the traditions of New Year and Epiphany, and how the season slowly drifted toward its quiet close. For now, let yourself rest. Let your breath soften. Feel the calm of the old world settling into your imagination. As we settle back beside the crackling fire, let's step softly into the world of old European beliefs. These were not frightening tales, not meant to startle or upset, but gentle superstitions that offered comfort and meaning. During the long nights of winter, imagine sitting in a warm cottage, your hands wrapped around a wooden cup. Outside, the wind drifts softly over the snow. Inside, the room glows with candlelight. In old Europe, people believed that Christmas Eve and the 12 days were touched with a little magic, the kind of magic that doesn't rush, that does not shout, but moves like moonlight across a quiet field. One belief said that animals in the barn stood up at midnight and murmured soft blessings for the year to come. Children loved this idea, and though they were never allowed to sneak out and disturb the creatures, they imagined the gentle voices of cows and horses and goats speaking softly to the night. Another belief said that bread baked on Christmas Eve would never spoil and could protect a home from storms or bad luck. So families baked extra loaves, wrapped them with care, and saved them for the months ahead. In some places, people set aside a small place at the table for any wandering spirit of goodwill. a quiet gesture of hospitality for unseen guests. Nothing about these customs was fearful. Everything was meant to keep the heart warm and kind. During the deepest part of winter, imagine the calm of those nights, the slow breathing of animals in their stalls, the soft glow of a candle in the window, the feeling that the world was both quiet and alive, in a very gentle way. Stories told beside the fire. Now let's draw nearer to the hearth. Feel its warmth reaching your hands. Hear the soft settling of drying logs as sparks drift up the chimney. Winter was storytelling season. Not hurried stories, not grand tales of battles or storms, but slow drifting stories that wandered like a peaceful stream. Families sat close together as the elder of the home began to speak. Perhaps the story was about a kind winter spirit who brought good fortune to the village, or about a humble traveler who found warmth in a stranger's home, or about a simple miracle that came to a family during the darkest night. Imagine the voice, steady, soothing, rising and falling like a lullaby. Children listened with heavy eyes, their heads resting on woolen blankets. Adults listened too, not because they believed every detail, but because the story's rhythm brought comfort to tired minds. Some stories were humorous, some were thoughtful, some carried lessons, wrapped in gentle metaphor, but all of them were shaped by winter's quiet. Feel yourself sitting in that room. The glow of the fire, the soft hush of snow outside, the warmth of a story circling slowly through the air. This is how long nights were passed. Not with urgency, but with calm companionship. Old winter games and evening pastimes. Even in the coldest months, people found simple joys to brighten the season. Imagine a long winter evening in a small European village. Families gather, and the night stretches peacefully before them. Children play quiet games. Noisy running was rare inside such small homes, so the games were often gentle. Maybe they rolled wooden hoops across the floor. Maybe they played guessing games, trying to discover which hand held a small nut or pebble. Maybe they sang playful rhymes that have now faded into history. Adults joined in lighter activities too. Some spun wool, some carved small objects from wood, some played simple board games, drawn into the table with charcoal, and some simply talked, sharing memories, dreams for the coming year, and the smallest details that made winter life feel sweet. The nights were long, but they were not lonely. Every small pastime was a thread in the warm fabric of holiday life. Imagine sitting in one of these homes, watching children laugh softly, while adults smile with quiet amusement. The fire burns steadily. The night wraps the house like a blanket. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is loud. Everything moves at the pace of winter. New Year in Old Europe, hope in the quiet months. As the 12 days of Christmas unfold, the next celebration approaches slowly. The New Year. Today, New Year celebrations often feel loud and bright. But in Old Europe, New Year's Day was gentle, reflective, and full of soft hope. Imagine waking to a cold, pale dawn. On the first morning of the year, the world feels fresh. The snow looks untouched, and the air is crisp and clean. Families believed that whatever happened on this day would set the tone for the year ahead. So people spoke kindly. They avoided arguments. They offered small blessings to neighbors and friends. Children were encouraged to behave gently so that their good manners would ripple through the year to come. Some households performed small rituals, simple actions meant to invite good fortune. A loaf of bread might be placed on the table, as a promise that the family would never go hungry. A candle might be lit, to guide luck into the home. A bowl of water might be carried in, to symbolize clarity and renewal. In many places, people exchanged small tokens, not quite gifts, but gestures of goodwill. A sprig of greenery, a carved charm, a handful of dried berries. The new year was not a time of fireworks, but of soft gratitude, a time to breathe, to hope, and to trust that even in the depths of winter, life moved gently forward. Epiphany and the quiet farewell to the season. Slowly, softly, the holiday season reached its final chapter. Epiphany, this day, usually in early January, marked the end of Christmas. In many parts of Europe, imagine a calm morning. On the eve of Epiphany, the evergreens in the corner of the room still smell faintly of the forest. Candles burn low. The final holiday bread rests on the table. Families gather for one last quiet meal. In some places, children receive small treats. In others, villagers walk from house to house, singing gentle blessings. And then slowly, decorations are taken down. Branches are returned to the earth. Candles are melted into small pools of wax. The home returns to its simple winter form. There is no sadness in this return, only a soft acceptance that every season has its rhythm, and this one has completed its circle. Imagine the peace of this moment, the closing of a long, gentle chapter, the way the world seems to exhale. After weeks of warmth and company, the long winter continues, but Christmas has left behind a deep, steady glow in every home and every heart. As the season settles into memory, we have wandered now through beliefs, stories, games, and the final celebrations that brought the Christmas season to a calm conclusion in old Europe. But there is still more to share. In Part 5, we will explore winter travel, village markets, the roles of women and children during the season, the deep meaning of hospitality, and the quiet wisdom passed down through generations. For now, let your breath fall into a slow rhythm. Feel the calm of a winter world, resting gently around you. Imagine now that you step outside, into the quiet landscape of old Europe in winter. Travel during the Christmas season was rare and gentle. People moved slowly, cautiously, because the world was deep in snow, and the days were short. Picture a narrow road, stretching between fields that sleep beneath a white blanket. Your footsteps sink softly. With each step, the cold air tingles against your skin. A faint trail of smoke rises from a distant cottage, letting you know you're not alone in this quiet world. Most travel was local, to visit a neighbor, to bring a loaf of bread to a relative, to walk to the village church, where the bells were already softened by the snowy sky. Sometimes a horse-drawn sled glided slowly through the village lanes, the bells at its harness chiming softly, their sound drifting into the cold air like tiny sparks of warm light. People bundled themselves in heavy cloaks and wool wraps. Children were wrapped so tightly they looked like little bundles, carried in their parents' arms. No one hurried. The pace of the world matched the calm rhythm of winter. And as you imagine yourself walking that snowy path, feel how peaceful it is, how unhurried, how deeply connected. to the quiet of the season, the village market in winter. Now let's take a slow walk into the heart of a winter marketplace. Markets during the Christmas season were smaller than summer fairs, but just as full of gentle charm. Imagine a cluster of wooden stalls set up near the center of a village. The roofs are covered in snow. Lanterns sway from hooks, sending warm amber light onto the packed earth below. Vendors sell simple goods: jars of honey, bundles of herbs, hand-carved spoons, small cloth dales, and strips of cured meat, saved carefully from autumn. There are winter apples, their skin still bright and crisp, each one a treasure of the cold months. There are nuts, gathered before the frost and carried in woven baskets. There are candles, made from beeswax or tallow, ready to bright long winter nights. Children wander through the market, in wonder, their eyes wide, as they take in the gentle bustle. A baker sells sweet rolls, covered in sugar. A farmer offers warm cider from a steaming pot. A young woman plays a soft tune on a small flute, the notes drifting through the cold air, like a feather floating downward. These markets were not loud or overwhelming. They were calm, local, warm with community spirit. Imagine yourself standing there, with snowflakes landing gently on your cloak, listening to quiet voices, and feeling the humble joy of winter gathering. Women's roles during the Christmas season. Step now into the warm interior of a home. The fire glows softly. The room hums with small movements of daily work. Women in old Europe held much of the heart of Christmas in their hands. They prepared the meals, stitched the clothing, lit the candles, and organized the household rituals that made the season feel gentle and complete. Imagine a mother baking bread with slow, steady movements. Her hands know the dough without needing to think. She teaches a daughter beside her, passing down skills and quiet winter wisdom. Women decorated the home with sprigs of evergreen, arranged modest feasts, and ensured that even the smallest child felt included in the season's warmth. They also cared for the sick, helped neighbors in need, and created gifts that were simple but filled with time and love. Picture a woman knitting by the soft glow of a candle, each loop of yarn a gesture of care. Her face is calm, her movements slow, her presence steady. As the winter settles around the home, so much of Christmas in the old world was carried by their gentle labor, the quiet work of keeping warmth alive. In the coldest months of the year, children's place in the Christmas season. Now imagine a group of children gathering near the hearth. Children in old Europe did not receive many gifts, but they received something deeper: the wonder of the season. They listened to stories. They helped decorate with evergreens. They joined in small winter songs, their voices soft and sweet. They waited eagerly for the visit of Saint Nicholas, or whichever winter figure their region believed in. The smallest treat, an orange, a gingerbread cookie, a handful of nuts, felt magical. Christmas gave children a feeling of belonging, a sense of tradition, a gentle thread connecting them to ancestors they had never met. Many chores paused during the season, so children could rest, play, and feel the calm joy of winter. Imagine them now, their cheeks rosy from the cold, their small hands pressed close to the fire, to warm them again. They smile at one another over simple toys or shared slices of fruitcake. They do not need much. Only warmth, only time, only the quiet magic that winter naturally brings. Hospitality, the warm heart of winter. In old Europe, hospitality was more than kindness. It was survival. It was a duty. And during the Christmas season, it became an art of gentle generosity. Imagine a traveler walking through the snow at dusk. His cloak is dusted with frost. His breath rises in soft clouds. A lantern swings faintly in his hand. A warm home opens its door. A family invites him in, not because he is known to them, but because this is what the season asks. The traveler receives a seat by the hearth, a bowl of warm stew, a corner of bread, a moment of rest. No questions, no expectations, just warmth offered freely, from one human being to another. Even the poorest households set something aside for guests. A small cup of drink, a spoonful of porridge, a place near the fire. Inside each home, hospitality created a circle of warmth that pushed back the cold and made winter feel less lonely. Imagine how comforting it must have been to knock on a door in a silent winter night and be welcomed with gentle kindness. Christmas was not only a religious celebration, it was a season that opened hearts as widely as doors. The passing down of winter wisdom. As the fire burns low, let us listen to the quiet wisdom passed through generations. Old Europe valued stories, teachings, and sayings that help people understand the rhythms of winter. Parents taught children how to mend clothing, how to store food, how to care for animals, and how to keep a home warm and safe. Through the long, cold months, winter taught patience. It taught calm endurance. It taught gratitude for small comforts. Grandparents shared advice in soft tones, reminding the younger ones that winter was not an enemy, but a season of rest, reflection, and renewal. Imagine sitting with one of these elders now. Their voice is soft. Their hands are steady. Their eyes reflect years of experience. They speak slowly, as though each word is shaped by the quiet of the season. Their wisdom settles into the mind, like snow settling on a roof, softly, silently, but with a lasting presence. This guidance carried families through hard winters and shaped the meaning of Christmas itself. As we sit beside the fire, we have now explored travel, markets, the roles of women and children, winter hospitality, and the wisdom shared during the season. But there is still more to wander through. In Part 6, we will explore regional differences across Europe, from Scandinavia's snowy calm to the warm hearths of the alpine villages, to the soft candlelit traditions of England, and the festive customs of Central and Eastern Europe. For now, let your breath soften, as though it's floating on winter air. Let your eyes grow heavy, like snow settling on evergreen branches. Now let's take a gentle walk across the many regions of old Europe, each with its own soft traditions and peaceful winter customs. We will move slowly, like a lantern carried through snow, pausing in each land to feel its unique warmth. The roads are not loud, the villages are small, and the winter nights invite a sense of shared wonder. Wherever we go, take a slow breath And let us wander in the Scandinavian north. Imagine traveling far into the north, where the days grow short and the nights stretch long and deep. Here, winter is a quiet companion. Snow covers the forests, frost glitters on every branch, and the world feels hushed, as though wrapped in a soft blue twilight. In old Scandinavia, Christmas blended with older winter traditions. Before Christianity arrived, people celebrated the coming of the sun's return, a feast of light in the darkest days. When Christmas took root, these old customs stayed, woven gently into the newer celebrations. Picture a wooden house with a steep roof and thick fur blankets. Inside, a warm fire glows, and the family gathers around a table, set with rice porridge, warm spiced drinks, and simple breads. Children wait eagerly to find the almond, hidden in the porridge, a small token of luck for the coming year. Outside, candles are placed in windows, sending tiny points of golden light into the vast winter darkness. The lights look like stars, brought down to earth. People sing slow, melodic songs that echo the deep calm of the northern landscape. Imagine being here, the cold, crisp air around you, the warm glow inside, the soft dance between darkness and light. Across the German-speaking lands, now we wander southward, into the heart of Central Europe, the German-speaking regions, where Christmas markets began. In their earliest forms, imagine walking through a small medieval town. Timber-framed houses lean gently over narrow streets. Lanterns hang from iron hooks. Bundles of evergreen decorate doorways. The scent of roasted nuts and warm spiced wine drifts through the crisp air. But markets here were quieter than what we know today. Smaller, humbler, filled with handmade goods and gentle conversation. Families baked rich fruit breads for the season, carefully wrapping them to last through the long winter nights. Children looked forward to the visit of Saint Nicholas, who carried a staff and walked from house to house with a soft, patient step. In many homes, small wooden nativity scenes were carved with great care, a peaceful work that warmed the mind. During the coldest weeks, picture yourself standing in a quiet German village, listening to bells echo across snowy rooftops. Everything feels still. Everything feels warm. In the Alpine villages, let's move deeper into the mountains of the Alps, a world of tall peaks, sleeping valleys, and cottages tucked along winding paths. Winter here is deep and long, but the people who lived in these regions created traditions filled with gentle charm. Imagine a family gathered in a wooden chalet, with heavy shutters and thick stone walls. The fire burns brightly, warming the room from floor to ceiling. On Christmas Eve, many Alpine villages prepared a special meal, made from ingredients kept safe through the cold months: potatoes, cheese, herbs, and preserved meats. The mountains often echoed with soft singing as villagers walked patiently to the small chapel perched on a hillside. The sound of footsteps in snow, the glow of lanterns in the dark, the peaceful climb toward candlelight. These moments were as precious as the celebration itself. Inside the chapel, a small wooden manger scene might be illuminated with just a few flickering candles. Imagine standing there, surrounded by neighbors, snow gently falling outside, and the quiet presence of winter settling into your heart. In the British Isles, now let's cross the sea. moving quietly into the old traditions of England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. Christmas in the British Isles was filled with simple pleasures and gentle customs. Imagine a small English cottage with a crackling hearth and holly branches above the door. The berries glow a cheerful red against the green leaves. Families prepare a warm pudding that steams for hours, filling the home with its comforting scent. Children listen eagerly for carol singers who travel from door to door, their voices soft against the night. In Scotland, where Christmas was sometimes subdued, for many years, the winter traditions leaned more toward Hogmanay, a New Year celebration filled with goodwill and gentle rituals. People lit candles to chase away the darkest shadows of the old year and welcomed the new one with warmth. In Ireland, families placed a candle in the window on Christmas Eve, a symbol of hospitality for any wandering stranger who sought comfort in the cold. The flame flickered softly, a quiet promise that the home held warmth for all who needed it. Imagine the peaceful glow of these windows, scattered across quiet hillsides, tiny lights in the deep winter night, across the Slavic lands of Eastern Europe. Now let us wander eastward into the vast regions of Poland, Ukraine, the Czech lands, Slovakia, and beyond. Here Christmas held old rhythms, a blend of Christian traditions and ancient winter customs that honored nature, family, and the passing of the seasons. Imagine a household where straw is spread beneath the tablecloth, a symbol of the humble manger and a reminder of the earth that sustains all life. Families wait for the first star to appear before beginning their Christmas Eve meal. When it shines in the winter sky, the feast begins. A quiet meal, often meatless, but rich with meaning. 12 dishes are served, each symbolizing a month of the year or a blessing for the future. Children look for a special wafer, a thin, delicate bread, shared among family members as a sign of peace and forgiveness. After the meal, carolers known as star singers walk through the snowy streets with lanterns and gentle voices, bringing blessings from house to house. Imagine the sound of their footsteps on the frosted ground. Imagine the soft melody spreading through the stillness of the night. Eastern European Christmas was a season of humility, of reflection, of deep-rooted hope, a hope strong enough to warm even the coldest winter. In the Mediterranean, a milder winter, a warm tradition. Finally, let's drift south, toward the Mediterranean, Italy, Spain, Greece, and the southern coast, where winter is gentler and the air carries a different kind of softness. Imagine stone villages, where the evenings are cool, but not icy. Families gather outdoors briefly to greet neighbors, exchange warm wishes, and listen to musicians playing slow, peaceful melodies. In Italy, nativity scenes, presepe, were crafted with great care, sometimes filling entire rooms with miniature landscapes of quiet devotion. In Spain, children looked forward to Epiphany, when the three kings brought small gifts to mark the end of the holiday season. In Greece, families lit fires to keep away mischievous winter spirits, not out of fear, but as part of a playful tradition that made children smile. Warm bread, olive oil, honey drizzled over pastries, and roasted nuts filled the tables. Even in milder climates, winter brought a sense of slowing down and gathering close. Imagine the sound of quiet laughter in a stone courtyard, the glow of lanterns on whitewashed walls, and the calm of a night that holds its own kind of winter magic. As we leave these lands behind, we have now wandered from the far north to the gentle Mediterranean south, from the icy forests of Scandinavia to the candlelit cottages of Britain and the warm hearths of Eastern Europe. Each region carries its own soft song of winter, and each one shapes Christmas with care, patience, and a deep love of light. In the darkest season, in Part 7, we will explore the inner emotional world of the season, how people felt Christmas in their hearts, how hope, quiet joy, rest, and reflection became the true gifts of winter. For now, let your breath fall into a slow rhythm, like footsteps across fresh snow. Let your mind soften, as though wrapped in wool and candlelight. Now that we have walked through villages, stepped into markets, sat beside warm hearths, and wandered across distant regions, let us move inward to the emotional center of an old European Christmas. Imagine yourself sitting in a quiet room, lit by a single candle. The flame flickers gently, casting a warm halo of golden light on the wooden walls around you. Outside, snow falls in a soft, steady hush. Inside, your breath finds a slower, calmer rhythm. In old Europe, Christmas was not just a celebration of ritual and tradition. It was a time when people allowed themselves to feel deeply, to rest, to reflect, to reconnect with the rhythms of life, often forgotten in the busy seasons. Let's explore these feelings, one soft layer at a time. The feeling of rest after long months of labor. Life in the old world was shaped by the seasons. Spring demanded planting. Summer demanded work. Autumn demanded harvest. And then winter arrived, the season of slowing down. Christmas came not in the middle of endless activity, but after months of hard labor, when people's bodies and minds needed quiet. Imagine a farmer leaning back beside the fire, hands still rough from the year's work, but finally able to rest. Imagine a mother finishing a long year of chores and allowing herself a moment of gentle stillness. Imagine a child who has gathered crops, carried water, helped with livestock, now given time to simply be a child. The feeling was like a long exhale, a release, a settling, a calm spreading through the home, like a soft blanket. Christmas was the heart of this winter rest, a reminder that work could pause, that life had quieter moments, that the body deserved warmth, and the spirit deserved peace. The feeling of hope in the deepest winter. Winter could be long. It could be difficult. It could feel endless. But Christmas brought a quiet sense of hope into the stillness. Imagine waking on a cold winter morning when the sun struggles to rise over the horizon. The world feels muted, wrapped in shades of gray and white. But inside the home, a candle is lit, bread is shared, a song is sung softly. These simple acts remind people that darkness is temporary, that the sun will return, that warmth will come again. In the old world, this kind of hope was not loud or overwhelming. It was gentle, patient, a steady faith, woven into every evergreen branch and every glowing ember. Hope was not a feeling of excitement. It was a quiet trust that life continues and the world keeps turning, even in deep winter. Imagine that hope, resting in your own chest, warm, steady, like a small candle that refuses to go out. The feeling of connection and togetherness. Christmas in old Europe was built on community, not crowds, but closeness. Imagine neighbors sharing a loaf of bread because food must stretch through the winter. Imagine families spending long evenings together by the fire because the night is cold and the world outside is dark. Imagine a traveler being welcomed into a stranger's home because hospitality is a sacred duty. These acts of togetherness created a warmth that had nothing to do with fire or blankets, a warmth born from human connection. In quiet homes, people told stories of ancestors long gone, binding generations together with memory. In villages, carolers visited each home, their voices weaving a soft thread from door to door. Christmas was not a holiday of decorations alone, but a celebration of shared life, life held gently in the hands of many. Imagine yourself in such a village, feeling welcomed, belonging, held in the soft fabric of community. The feeling of gratitude. Gratitude in the old world was shaped by simplicity. People had less, but valued each small comfort more deeply. A warm loaf of bread, a new pair of mittens, a good harvest, a peaceful night, a candle burning steadily, a child's laughter, a neighbor's kindness. Christmas encouraged people to notice these things and hold them close to the heart. Imagine someone lifting a cup of warm drink, pausing to feel its heat, and whispering a quiet thank you into the winter air. Imagine someone kneeling briefly in a cold chapel, not asking for anything, but simply giving thanks for the stillness of the night. Imagine a family sharing a humble meal and feeling grateful, not for abundance, but for togetherness. Gratitude was not spoken loudly. It was felt softly, a gentle warmth around the heart, a calm awareness of life's quiet blessings, the feeling of reflection. Winter invites reflection in a way no other season can. Long nights, quiet days, slow rhythms. The world itself seems to whisper that it is time to think gently about life. Christmas, with its candles, its small rituals, its peaceful moments, encouraged people to look back on the year and look forward to what might come. Imagine a person standing at their doorway on a snowy night, watching the moonlight touch the frozen fields. They think of seeds planted, of harvest gathered, of loved ones lost, of joys found again. They think of the year's lessons, spoken quietly in the mind, like old friends, visiting for a moment, and they feel ready, softly, to step into the year ahead, with calm understanding. Reflection in old Europe was not dramatic. It was peaceful, a natural pause, allowed by the rhythm of winter. Imagine that reflection, settling into your own thoughts, washing through your mind, like a slow, gentle tide. The feeling of peace, all of these emotions, rest, hope, connection, gratitude, reflection merged gently into one final feeling: peace. Christmas in old Europe was not loud or hurried. It did not demand extravagance or perfection. It invited peace in small, simple ways: a candle burning, a family gathered, a loaf of bread shared, a hymn sung softly, a night of snow falling in silence. Peace was not the absence of hardship. It was the presence of warmth in the middle of winter. Imagine sitting in that peace now. The fire crackles softly. Your breath is slow. Your body feels heavy in a comforting way. This is the heart of the season. Not noise, not grand celebration, but deep, gentle quiet. The kind that settles into the soul and stays there long after the candle has gone out. As we rest in this peace, we have explored the inner emotional world of Christmas in old Europe, a world of calm feelings and quiet human truths. In Part 8, we will enter the final stretch of our long winter journey: how the season slowly faded back into ordinary life, how people held on to its lessons, and how the memory of Christmas carried them through the rest of the cold months. For now, let your breath grow softer, as soft as a snowflake falling. Now let us step quietly into the final days of the Christmas season in old Europe. The feasts have been shared, the carols have been sung, the lanterns that glowed through the long nights begin to burn a little lower. The world outside is still deep in winter, but the special days of celebration start to soften, like snow settling after a long storm. Imagine waking in early January. The decorations are still in place, evergreens resting in the corner, a candle or two half melted, the scent of spices faint in the air. Yet something feels different. The height of the season is passing, gently, quietly, like a tide slipping back into the calm sea. People return slowly to their ordinary tasks, but they move with a softer pace, carrying the calm of the holiday days inside their hearts. Let's walk through these final moments as the season gently folds itself away. The 12th night, a soft closing of celebration. The 12th night, the last of the 12 days of Christmas, was a time for quiet joy. Imagine a small gathering in a warm cottage. Candles glow softly. The family shares a simple final feast. Laughter hums gently in the air, like a low song. In some regions, a special cake is baked, with a bean or nut hidden inside. Whoever finds it becomes the king or queen. For the evening, a light-hearted roll, meant to bring smiles on a cold winter night. Children loved this game. Adults smiled warmly at their excitement. But soon the night deepens, and the mood becomes calmer. Stories are shared one last time. People speak softly about their hopes for the slow months still ahead. When candles are blown out, one by one, there is a sense of peaceful farewell. Not sadness, but gentle appreciation. The season has given all the warmth it can, and now it rests, taking down the evergreen decorations. In many places, the evergreens were left until the 12th night or Epiphany. Imagine the moment when the family begins to take them down. The branches are dry now, their scent softer, like a memory fading, but still sweet. Children help remove the sprigs of holly, placing them carefully into baskets. In some regions, the greens are burned. In the hearth, the flames crackling softly, as the old year's symbols turn into warm light and ash. In other places, they are returned gently to the earth, spread onto fields, or placed beneath trees, as a quiet offering to the land. Nothing is thrown away. Nothing is wasted. The act feels almost ceremonial, a small, peaceful ritual to honor the passing of time. Imagine yourself participating, moving slowly, breathing calmly, feeling gratitude for each little symbol of life that brightened the dark days, returning to winter's steady rhythm. As the festive days fade, life settles back into its winter rhythm. But it is not the harsh rhythm of early December, when cold arrives suddenly and work must be finished quickly before the snow deepens. This is a gentler rhythm, slower, softer, filled with the afterglow of holiday warmth. Imagine mornings now. The fire is lit again. With practiced hands, a pot of porridge simmers quietly. The home feels calm, not festive, but peaceful. People mend tools, patch clothing, care for animals, fetch water from frozen wells. The work continues, but the spirit is lighter. Christmas has reminded them that winter is not only hardship, it is also a time for rest, for reflection, and for quiet connection. Imagine the comfort of slipping back into this steady rhythm with a peaceful heart, carrying the lessons of Christmas into the cold months. Old European Christmas traditions were not meant to end abruptly. They were meant to echo through the winter months. People carried small lessons into their daily lives, a habit of sharing when times were hard, a rhythm of rest when bodies were tired, a sense of gratitude for the smallest comforts, a quiet hope that warmth would return. Imagine a woman mending a shawl by the window while snow falls softly outside. She hums a carol she sang during the holiday days, a gentle reminder of the warmth she felt. Imagine a farmer feeding his animals with a renewed sense of calm purpose. Imagine children playing in the snow, still remembering the magic of Christmas Eve. These soft carryovers made winter feel less lonely, less cold, less heavy. The lessons of the season were like embers in the hearth, small glowing points of warmth that lasted long after the flames had faded. The memory of Christmas in winter's deepest weeks. As January stretches onward, winter deepens. Nights are long. The landscape is quiet. The world feels held in stillness. And yet, the memory of Christmas remains like a gentle lantern, glowing in the mind. People remember the songs they shared, the warmth of the hearth, the kindness of neighbors, the taste of sweet bread on a cold morning. These memories were not fleeting. They were companion-like, symbols of comfort to recall on the coldest days. Imagine sitting alone during a snowy afternoon, watching flakes drift downward in slow, dreamy spirals. You think of Christmas Eve, the quiet magic, the soft glow of candles, the peaceful togetherness, and your heart warms just a little. This was the true gift of Christmas. In the old world, not grand celebrations, but gentle warmth that lingered. through the quiet depth of winter, preparing slowly for spring. By the time winter moves toward its final months, people begin to think softly of spring. Seeds are checked, tools are repaired, plans are made in quiet conversation. But there is no rush, no hurry, just the slow turning of the seasons. Christmas becomes a distant but cherished memory, held warmly as people wait for the first signs of thaw. Imagine the first drip of melting snow from a rooftop, the first glimpse of sunlight, staying just a little longer in the sky. Even these small hints echo the feeling that Christmas instilled: hope, renewal, and the promise of returning life. As we near the end of the journey, we are almost ready to bring this long winter story to its peaceful conclusion. In Part 9, we will enter the final stage, a reflective closing, a slow farewell, and a gentle good night to the world of Christmas in old Europe. For now, rest in the stillness. Let your breath fall softly. Let your thoughts move as slowly as drifting snow. Now let us take one last quiet step into the snowy landscape of old Europe. The candles have burned low. The evergreen branches have been returned to the earth. The song of the season have drifted into memory. The holiday days have passed, but the calm they brought still lingers gently in the air. Like the last glow of fire after the embers settle. Imagine walking through a village now, in the heart of winter. The snow is deep. The rooftops are covered in soft white layers. Smoke rises slowly from chimneys, curling into the pale morning sky. Life has returned to its quiet rhythm, but something peaceful remains, something placed carefully into the hearts of everyone who shared those gentle holiday days. Let us walk together through this final stretch and feel that lingering warmth. The home after the holidays. Step inside a small cottage. Once more, the room is familiar. The hearth, the table, the wooden beams, darkened by many years of winter fires. But now the decorations are gone. The special cakes and breads have been eaten. The house feels simpler again, yet somehow fuller. This is the quiet fullness that comes after celebration. A fullness not of objects, but of spirit. The fire burns steadily, as it always does in winter. The humble meals continue. The work of daily life resumes. But beneath it all is a calm sense that the holiday warmth still lives inside the home, even without candles or carols. Imagine standing there, feeling that subtle shift, the return of ordinary life, woven gently with the serenity of Christmas memories, the people who carry the season within them. Imagine the mother in the kitchen, stirring a pot of winter stew. Her movements are not hurried. She hums a little tune from the Christmas days, as naturally as breathing. Imagine the father chopping wood outside, his breath rising in soft clouds. He pauses now and then, lifting his eyes to the quiet sky, remembering the harmony of the holiday nights. Imagine the children playing in the snow, their laughter soft and warm, even in the cold air. They build little shapes from snow and sticks, and speak of the gifts they received. Not many, but treasured. Every person carries the season, like a gentle lantern, held close to the chest. Not brightly, not loudly, but warmly. the village holding the memory of light. Now imagine the whole village, resting in winter silence. Paths are lined with footprints from people visiting one another. The church bells ring softly. In the crisp air, chickens fuss quietly. In their coops, horses breathe warm clouds. Into the cold morning light, the market square, once lively with winter gatherings, stands calm now, but shutters still glow with warm firelight. In the early dusk, the spirit of Christmas has settled into these small places, woven into the very snow and stone and timber. This is how a season lives on, not through decoration, but through the memory of shared warmth. Imagine walking through this village. Feel how peaceful it is, because of the season it has lived through. A peace that winter cannot take away. The long quiet of deep winter. As the weeks move forward, winter deepens. The sun rises low and sets early. Frost gathers on every branch. The world becomes still, and the nights stretch on like soft shadows. But this deep winter is not a lonely place. It holds the memory of Christmas warmth, like a blanket folded at the foot of a bed. Imagine sitting by a window on a tranquil winter evening. You watch the snow fall in slow spirals, each flake drifting gently to the earth. Your thoughts move softly. Your breath settles. You feel calm, even in the cold. This calm comes not only from nature, not only from rest, but from the kindness shared during the holiday days. In old Europe, this gentleness was the real gift, the true treasure of the season. A quiet gift that lasted long after the final candle had burned down, the year beginning anew. Soon, very soon, winter will turn. Birdsong will return to the early mornings. The sun will rise a little higher. A hint of green will peek through the melting snow. But the deep meaning of Christmas, the warmth, the kindness, the quiet hope, will continue, carried into the new year by every person who lived through the season. Imagine stepping into that new year with a soft spirit, guided by the gentle lessons winter has offered. You feel calmer. You feel steadier. You feel more connected to the small lights that shine in dark places. These feelings are the heart of Christmas, as it was once known. A gentle farewell to the old world of winter. Now we come to the end of our long journey through Christmas in old Europe. We have walked through snow-covered fields. We have sat beside warm fires. We have listened to songs and stories, whispered in soft winter voices. We have shared quiet meals. We have wandered through markets. We have visited distant regions and felt the spirit of winter in many lands. Most of all, we have felt the season as it lived inside the hearts of the people of the past. Calm, gentle, full of quiet love. Let us take a slow breath and let that warmth settle into your own heart like a final glowing ember of a winter fire. This journey, with its slow footsteps and soft candlelight, will remain with you whenever you need it. A peaceful good night. As the winter night settles around you, feel your body grow heavy with comfort. Feel your breath fall into a warm, steady rhythm. The world of old Europe begins to drift into a peaceful haze, like the last snowflakes melting on a quiet windowsill. The season has ended. The story has come to rest. And now, so can you. Close your eyes gently. Let the calm of this long tale wrap around you like a soft woolen cloak. You are safe. You are warm. You are resting in the glow of a story that has carried you through snowy fields and quiet nights. May your dreams be filled with soft candlelight, gentle winter landscapes, and the warmth of kindness shared long ago. Good night, my friend. Sleep peacefully, and let the season's calm stay with you long after you drift into rest. Imagine now that you step once more into a small cottage somewhere in old Europe. You have been here before, in your dreams. But tonight, the world is even quieter. Snow has been falling since late afternoon. It gathers thickly on the windowsills, softening every edge of the world into gentle curves. As you enter, a wave of warm air greets you. The smell of burning wood, the faint sweetness of baked bread, and the comfort of a place that feels lived in, cared for, and safe. The door closes softly behind you. Snowflakes melt on your shoulders, and winter stays outside. Inside, everything is still. A fire glows in the hearth. Its light flickers like a heartbeat made of gold. A woolen blanket rests on a carved wooden chair. A kettle hums quietly on the iron hook above the flames, warming water for evening tea. This cottage invites you to slow down, to soften, to rest. A seat beside the hearth. Walk slowly across the wooden floor. Each step is silent. Under the thick wool rug, a chair waits beside the fire, smooth from years of use, its surface warmed by countless winter evenings. Sit down. Feel the heat gently surround your legs, your hands, your face. The fire does not roar. It does not demand attention. It simply glows with a steady, calming presence. Listen to its soft sounds. The crackle of bark, the sigh of wood collapsing into embers, the quiet flutter of sparks rising. Each sound is like a whisper, telling you to let go, to breathe, to rest in this moment. Outside the window, snow continues to fall in slow, drifting spirals. The flakes catch the moonlight and glide downward like tiny feathers. The world is quiet. You are safe. And the winter night is wrapped gently around the cottage, like a blanket. Simple comforts of a winter evening. Now imagine the small comforts that fill the cottage. A mug sits on the table, waiting for warm tea. It is handmade, its surface uneven, its imperfections beautiful. Beside it lies a small loaf of winter bread, dusted with flour, still warm from the afternoon's baking. A few sprigs of dried herbs hang from the rafters. Lavender, rosemary, and mint collected during the warm months and brought inside for long winter nights like this. Each scent is faint, but together they create a soothing fragrance that drifts through the air like memory. You break off a piece of bread. It is soft, comforting, with a hint of honey. You pour the warm tea into the waiting mug. The steam rises gently, carrying the scent of herbs and reminding you of summer sunlight hidden beneath winter's silence. The first sip is warm, soft, and deeply calming. These are the comforts that people cherished during the long winters of old Europe. Not grand things, not loud things, just simple pleasures that warmed the heart, the soft murmurs of a sleeping house. If you listen closely, you can hear the cottage breathing. The wind hums softly against the walls, but it cannot enter. The fire snaps quietly as it settles deeper into embers. Somewhere in the rafters, a beam creaks gently, not in alarm, but like a long sigh of contentment. Above the hearth, a pot with winter herbs softly releases its scent. As the warmth rises, imagine the room around you. A wooden table, polished by hands over many years. Shelves of clay jars, filled with grains and dried fruit. A small woven basket, with knitting resting inside. Half finished but patient. Everything here has its place. Everything is calm. This is a house that understands winter. It does not fight it. It does not fear it. It embraces the season with warmth and quiet acceptance. And tonight, you are part of that calm, listening to the night outside. When you rise from your chair and walk to the window, the cold air meets the warm glass and fogs it slightly. Clear a small circle with your fingertips. Outside, the world is peaceful. Snow blankets the earth in thick, gentle layers. The trees stand silent, their branches holding moonlit shadows. A faint glow shines from the neighboring cottage, its own fire burning quietly. Through the night, farther away, a small barn rests, and you can imagine the soft breath of animals inside its wooden walls. Warm and calm, no sound breaks the quiet, except the occasional sigh of wind and the delicate whisper of snow touching snow. This is the winter night that so many people in old Europe knew so intimately. A night of softness, stillness, and deep quiet peace. You stand at the window for as long as you like, watching snow fall, like a dream you can almost touch, returning to the hearth to sleep. When at last you return to the chair, the fire has settled into a bed of glowing coals. The heat it gives is softer now, like a warm hand resting gently on your shoulder. The room is darker, quieter, sleepier. You wrap the wool blanket around your shoulders and sink into the chair, as though into a warm nest. Your eyes grow heavy, your breath slows, your body loosens with each warm exhale. The cottage holds you gently, like a winter lullaby. Outside, the snow continues to fall, soft, endless, peaceful. Inside, you drift into the deepest rest, a whispered good night as the fire dims and the winter night deepens. The cottage seems to whisper, "Rest now. You are safe. You are warm. The night will watch over you." Your thoughts fade, like soft footprints, covered by new snow. Your breath becomes calm. Your mind drifts into quiet stillness, and you fall into sleep, warm, peaceful, and held gently in the heart of an old European winter. Good night, traveler. Rest well. Dream softly. If you'd like another bonus chapter with a different scene, perhaps a walk through a Christmas forest, or a moonlit village, or a story told beside the hearth, imagine you step outside the warm cottage and into a quiet winter evening. The air is cool and gentle. Snow lies thick on the ground, softening your footsteps into almost silence. Ahead of you, the forest rises like a dream. Tall dark trunks, branches laden with white, the evening sky glowing pale blue. As dusk settles peacefully over the land, you pull your cloak a little closer. The fabric is warm, smelling faintly of wood smoke from nights spent by the hearth. You breathe in slowly. The air is crisp, clean, carrying the faint scent of pine and winter earth. You take the first step into the forest path, and everything around you falls into a quiet, soothing silence, the soft sound of snow beneath your feet. As you walk, your boots sink gently into the snow. Each step makes a soft, muffled sound, a sound that feels comforting, steady, unhurried. The snow absorbs the world's noise, leaving only calmness behind. Sometimes, a flake drifts onto your cloak, melts instantly, and leaves a cool touch that fades almost as soon as it arrives. Branches overhead hold pockets of snow that glitter faintly in the fading light. Every few steps, a bit of snow slips quietly from the trees, a soft whump, gentle and reassuring. In the stillness of the forest, everything is peaceful. Everything invites rest. The forest animals at twilight. As you move deeper into the woods, you begin to notice the quiet life around you. A deer stands at the edge of the trees, its coat blending with the winter tones. It meets your gaze calmly, ears gently turning to catch the faint sounds of evening. Its presence is serene, a reminder that you are not alone, but you are welcome. A moment later, it steps softly deeper into the forest, its hooves barely marking the snow. Farther ahead, a fox trots lightly across the path. Its tail is a plume of soft red fur. It leaves elegant, narrow tracks before disappearing into a hollow of trees. You hear the flutter of a bird settling into its roost. You glimpse the small shapes of winter sparrows nestling close together. For warmth, nothing startles you. Nothing rushes. The forest moves in a slow, peaceful rhythm that matches your own breath. A clearing filled with moonlight. After a gentle walk, you reach a clearing. Here the sky opens wide. The first stars appear, soft pale lights, trembling above the dark trees. The moon rises quietly behind a ridge of snow-covered hills. Its glow spills into the clearing, like silver paint, brushed across the world. The snow captures the moonlight and glows softly, as though lit from within. Everything here is still, even more silent than the forest path. You stand in the center of this moonlit clearing and feel something ancient, gentle, and deeply calming. This is the kind of night that people in old Europe would remember for years. A night of quiet beauty that sinks softly into the heart. Breathing with the forest. Take a slow breath in. The cold air fills your lungs with a fresh, clean sensation. Now exhale gently. The forest seems to breathe with you. Branches swaying slightly, snow drifting from above, the whole world moving in a slow, natural rhythm. You close your eyes. For a moment, all you feel is the cool air on your face, the weight of your cloak, and the steady rhythm of your breath. There is nothing to do, no task waiting, no sound calling for your attention. only rest, only peace, only the presence of a world that welcomes you exactly as you are. The walk back to the cottage. When you open your eyes, the moon has risen a little higher, casting longer shadows across the snow. It is time to return. Slowly, softly, without breaking the calm, you turn back toward the path. Your footprints guide you easily home, leading you through the quiet, dreamlike forest. As you walk, the light in your cottage window comes into view, a warm glow, waiting patiently for your return. The cottage stands like a small lantern in the snowy night, and when you step inside, the warmth embraces you. Immediately, the fire crackles softly. Your cloak grows warm again. The peaceful walk lingers in your mind like a gentle lullaby, a soft good night after the walk. You sit by the hearth, legs stretched toward the warmth, and close your eyes. The forest is still with you. Its snow, its quiet creatures, its soft silver light. The memory settles over you like a heavy, comforting blanket. You breathe deeply, slowly, and feel sleep drifting closer, soft as falling snow. Good night, gentle traveler. Rest peacefully, and when you'd like another dreamlike scene, imagine now that you leave the warm cottage and walk slowly toward the heart of a small village, nestled in the snowy hills of old Europe. Night has settled quietly over the rooftops and chimneys. The air is still. The world is calm. The snow beneath your feet shines faintly with a soft moonlit glow. Ahead you see the village. Small houses with wooden shutters, tiny windows glowing with the warm flicker of candles. The village feels like a cluster of cozy lanterns gathered in the surrounding dark. Your steps make only the gentlest sound as you walk along the snow-covered path. This place is peaceful in a way that reaches deep inside you, like a lullaby sung softly in a language almost forgotten. Candlelight behind shutters. As you move closer, you notice how each home shines with its own quiet warmth. Behind one window, a family is finishing an evening meal. A candle sits at the center of the table, its flame steady, its glow golden and comforting. Behind another, a grandmother knits by the soft orange light of the hearth, a piece of wool taking shape slowly in her practiced hands. In a third home, children sit on the floor, quietly arranging simple wooden toys as their parents speak in hushed tones. Near the fire, everything is slow, everything is gentle. The village is alive, but resting. You stand for a moment and simply feel the warmth radiating from these little windows, like tiny hearths scattered through the winter night. Walking along the village street. The street through the village is narrow and winding, carved by years of footsteps and simple routines. Tonight, it is softened by snow. A lantern hangs from a wooden post, its flame flickering as a light breeze passes by. It illuminates the snowflakes, drifting down, each one catching the light, before disappearing into the soft blanket below. You walk past the well, in the village square, its stone rim cold and dusted with snow. In the warmer months, this place would be filled with voices and activity. But in winter, it sleeps. Your footsteps echo in the quiet night, not loudly, but like a soft whisper. that the village understands. Everything invites calm. Everything invites rest. The church at the center of the village. At the heart of the village stands a small church. Its bell tower rises into the moonlit sky, and the wooden door glows faintly from the candle within. The church is not grand or imposing. It is simple, humble, and filled with quiet reverence. Snow rests gently on its steep roof. A lantern hangs near the entrance, casting a warm circle of light onto the snow-covered steps. You walk closer and pause at the door. Through the wood, you can hear the faintest echo of a soft hymn, a voice practicing or praying alone. The sound is gentle, like a winter breeze, singing through the branches. You do not enter. You simply stand nearby and let the feeling flow softly around you. The church is like the heart of the sleeping village, steady, quiet, warm at its core. A bench beneath the winter sky, a small wooden bench, sits near the square. You brush off a thin layer of snow and sit down. The wood is cold at first, but soon your body warms it. From here, you can see the rooftops of the entire village. Smoke rises slowly from chimneys, curling into the still night. Stars shimmer faintly in the clear, cold sky. The moon hangs low and bright, painting the snow with silver light. You sit quietly, listening to the peaceful sounds of a winter night. A dog barking once in the distance, then falling silent again. The creak of a shutter, moving slightly in the breeze. The distant crunch of someone returning home from a late errand. And finally, the deep, calming quiet that settles back over the entire village. You breathe slowly, deeply, calmly. The air feels pure. The world feels soft. And you feel completely at peace. Returning slowly to your cottage. When you stand again, your path is waiting. Your footprints from earlier, guiding you gently home. The village behind you seems to glow softly, as if made of warmth and memory. As you walk away, you feel the peace of the place following you like a gentle companion. By the time you reach your cottage, the snow has piled a little higher. On the roof, the window glows warmly from your own hearth inside. You step in, close the door, and let the quiet of the village settle into your heart like a final lullaby. The world outside rests under moonlit snow. Imagine now that you have been walking through snowy hills for many hours. Your boots are dusted with white. Your cloak is cool from the evening air. Ahead, at the edge of a quiet village, you see a small inn, a humble wooden building with a thatched roof and a lantern hanging softly beneath its sign. The lantern glows warm and golden against the deep winter night, and the gentle sway of its light feels like an invitation. You push open the wooden door and step inside. Warmth surrounds you. Immediately, the scent of baked bread, burning wood, and faint winter spices drifts through the air like a soft blanket. Your body relaxes without you even trying. This place feels safe. This place feels peaceful. The glow of the common room. You walk deeper inside, into the inn's common room. A large hearth burns at the far wall, its flames moving slowly, casting gentle light onto the low-beamed ceiling. Several wooden tables are scattered around the room. Most are empty at this hour, their surfaces smooth from many years of quiet winter hands resting there. A single candle burns at each table, its flame dancing softly in the warm air. The innkeeper nods to you from behind the counter. They smile, a welcome given not with words, but with peaceful familiarity. You take a seat near the fire, and the warmth wraps around you like a heavy wool cloak. The crackling of the hearth fills the room with the most soothing sound. Small, steady, comforting, a warm drink for a cold traveler. The innkeeper brings you a warm drink, a simple mixture of herbs, steam rising from the cup in soft curls. The mug feels heavy in your hands, the ceramic warmed from the fire's heat. You lift it slowly and breathe in the scent. It smells of mint and dried apple and something earthy that reminds you of summer fields sleeping under the snow. The first sip is warm and gentle. It spreads through you like a slow tide of calm. Your shoulders loosen, your breath deepens, your mind softens. In this quiet inn, nothing is rushed, nothing is loud. Every movement, every sound is a lullaby. Other travelers resting softly. As you sip, you notice two other travelers near the hearth. They sit quietly, wrapped in thick cloaks, their boots drying. Near the fire, one listens to the pop and crack of the burning logs. The other gazes out the window at the softly falling snow. No one speaks. No one needs to. The silence is comfortable, like a shared blanket that warms everyone in the room. Perhaps they too have been traveling through the cold. Perhaps they too find peace in this soft, warm place. Their presence adds to the calm, not with noise, but with simple closeness. The innkeeper's cat, a quiet movement, catches your eye. A small gray cat pads softly across the floor with slow, deliberate steps. Her fur is thick and fluffy, her tail held high in calm curiosity. She approaches the hearth and curls into a perfect circle on a warm rug, just inches from your boots. She purrs, a low, steady vibration that fills the room with serene comfort. In old Europe, an inn's cat was part of the family, a gentle guardian of the warm spaces, a companion for weary travelers, a little reminder that peace can be found in the smallest of creatures. The sound of her purring deepens your relaxation. It is rhythmic, like a winter lullaby. You feel yourself drifting, just a little. The upstairs room. After your drink is finished, the innkeeper leads you up a creaking wooden staircase. Each step groans softly underfoot, not unsteadily, but in that old, familiar way that centuries-old wood tends to speak. You reach a small room with a sloped ceiling and a single window overlooking the snowy village. A candle burns on the table. A thick feather mattress rests on a wooden bed frame. Wool blankets are folded neatly at the foot. This room is simple, quiet, warm, a refuge from the cold. You run your hand across the blanket. It is soft and heavy, perfect for a winter night. Outside the window, Snow drifts slowly past the glass. The world is dark, but peaceful, very peaceful. Settling into the bed. You lie down on the bed, the blankets wrapping around you. In deep warmth, the mattress is soft. The air in the room smells faintly of pine and old wood. And the wind outside whispers softly against the shutters. The candle flickers on the bedside table, casting shadows that dance slowly across the wooden walls. Your eyelids grow heavy. Your breathing slows. Your body sinks deeper into the softness beneath you. In the hallway outside, you hear the muted footstep of the innkeeper closing up for the night. The inn settles into silence, a deep, restorative silence. You can feel sleep drifting toward you, soft as snow, gentle as candlelight, peaceful as winter itself, drifting into dream as the last moments of the day fade. The inn keeps watch over you. The walls, the fire below, the purring cat, the soft glow of the candle, all of it holds you in a cocoon of comfort. Your breath moves in long, slow waves, and your thoughts become light and distant. The winter night wraps itself around the inn like a hushed blanket, and through the window, you see one last snowflake touch the glass before melting into nothing. Your eyes close. Your body melts into the mattress. The warmth carries you into a deep, peaceful, ancient sleep. Good night, winter traveler. Rest softly. Dream warmly. The old European inn will keep its gentle vigil all through the night. If you'd like another dreamlike bonus scene, a silent snowy church, a frozen lake at dawn, a winter storyteller's room, or anything else, imagine that you wake gently in the middle of the night. Not abruptly, but slowly, as if something soft has called you from sleep. The inn is silent. The fire downstairs is now a bed of warm embers. The cat is curled near the hearth, dreaming peacefully. You stand, wrap a cloak around your shoulders, and open the wooden door to step outside. The night greets you with a tender stillness. Snow is falling, but so lightly, so delicately, that it looks like silver dust drifting through moonlight. You breathe in slowly. The air is calm and pure. The village around you is asleep, yet you feel drawn somewhere, not in a hurry, but with a gentle sense of purpose. You begin walking toward the small church. At the village's center, the sound of your footsteps in the silent night. Your steps make soft impressions in the untouched snow. The sound is faint, a quiet crunch, muted as though the night has softened everything. Above you, the moon shines through a veil of clouds, casting a pale silver glow. Over the rooftops, snow gathers on your cloak. Your breath forms small clouds that fade instantly into the cold air. Nothing disturbs the stillness. A gentle wind sweeps across the village, like a slow sigh. It brushes your cheeks and ruffles the corners of your cloak, guiding you onward. Each step brings a growing sense of calm expectancy. There is something peaceful waiting at the church tonight. The church standing quiet in the snow. As you reach the small village square, the church comes into view. Its stone walls are dusted with snow. The steeple rises into the night, like a watchful guardian. Tiny icicles hang from the roof's eaves, glittering faintly in the moonlight. A single candle burns in one of the front windows. Just one, a warm, steady light in a world of softness and silver. You approach slowly, feeling the night grow even quieter. As you near the entrance, the wooden door is slightly open, not enough to be alarming, but enough to invite. You place your hand on the cool iron handle and push gently inside the silent, snow-lit sanctuary. The church interior is dim and peaceful. Candles burn near the altar, a few small flames, casting warm circles of light. On stone walls, the air smells faintly of beeswax and old wood. You step inside, closing the door with the softest click. The hush here is deeper than outside, not empty, but full of quiet presence. The wooden pews stretch in neat rows, their surfaces smooth from years of winter hands resting on them. You walk forward and take a seat in a pew near the center. The cushion beneath you is slightly worn, but soft enough to welcome your tired body. Your breath slows as you settle in. Everything feels right, soothing, safe. The glow of candlelight and snow through stained glass. The church's small stained glass windows glow faintly with moonlight. Colors: deep blue, soft red, pale gold, shift gently as snowflakes drift against the outside glass. You watch them fall, one by one, drifting, floating, landing. The candle flames flicker, as if breathing slowly. With the rhythm of the night, you place your hands together, not in prayer necessarily, but in quiet reflection. A moment to simply be, a moment to feel the peace that settles so naturally. In this place, your thoughts grow lighter, your body relaxes, your mind softens. You could sit here forever, in the calm glow of winter and candlelight, a soft hymn in the distance. And then, so quietly, you almost imagine it. You hear a sound, not close, not startling, just a gentle melody, carried through the air, like a memory. It might be someone in a distant room of the church, or it might be the voice of the building itself. Old wood, old stone, sighing softly in the peaceful night. The tune is slow, simple, comforting, a lullaby from a time you cannot name, but somehow remember. A melody that feels like warm hands resting on your shoulders. You close your eyes, you listen, you breathe, and the sound drifts through your heart like falling snow, leaving the church wrapped in peace. When you rise and walk toward the exit, your body feels lighter. The cloak around your shoulders holds the warmth of the candlelit room. You push open the door and step back into the night. Snow continues to fall in slow, soft spirals. The village is silent. The world is calm. Your footsteps lead you back, the way you came, toward the inn that glows faintly in the distance. With each step, the peace you found in the church settles deeper inside you. By the time you reach your room, the tranquility feels complete, a quiet fullness that warms the heart more deeply than fire. You lie down, close your eyes, and let the memory of candlelight and snowfall carry you gently into sleep. Good night. Rest warmly. Dream softly. If you'd like another dreamlike winter scene, perhaps a frozen lake at dawn, an old European library, a storyteller's cottage, or a mountain village at sunrise, imagine waking just before dawn. The inn is still. The world is wrapped in darkness, but the kind of darkness that feels calm and protective, like a soft cloak, drawn gently over the earth. Your room is cool, yet you feel rested, as if the winter night itself has cradled your dreams. You rise slowly, wrap yourself in warm wool, and step outside. The air is crisp and filled with that special stillness that only appears right before morning breaks. A faint blue shimmer touches the edges of the horizon. This is the hour when winter holds its breath, and you begin your walk toward the frozen lake that lies just beyond the village. The quiet path through snow, the path to the lake, winds through a line of tall, bare trees. Frost clings to their branches, tiny crystals sparkling, even in the faint early light. Your footsteps sound soft, steady, and soothing against the fresh snow. Each breath you take fills your lungs with cold, clean air that wakes you gently. The world is beginning to glow with hints of dawn, a pale silver washing over the sky, deepening slowly into blue. The trees stand silent, respectful, as if guiding you to something sacred. And in this moment, you feel completely at ease, a quiet traveler moving through a winter dream. The frozen lake appears. When you reach the last line of trees, you see it, a wide lake, completely frozen, stretching smooth and unbroken beneath the early morning sky. Its surface shines like polished glass, reflecting soft hints of coming sunlight. Snow has settled in gentle patterns across the ice, soft swirls and wind-blown traces that look like brushstrokes in a painting. No sound disturbs the scene. Not a bird, not a breeze, not even the whisper of shifting ice. The lake is perfectly still, perfectly calm. You step closer, your boots crunching softly in the snow's thin crust. The world around you feels like a held breath, a pause before the dawn awakens fully. Sitting beside the lake, near the shoreline, stands an old wooden bench, covered with a light layer of frost. You brush it away with your gloved hand and sit down. The wood is cold at first, but soon your body warms. The small space it touches, your cloak drapes around you, heavy and soft. And then you simply watch. The frozen lake rests in complete tranquility. The trees behind you stand like quiet sentinels. Your breath drifts upward in soft clouds. This is one of winter's gentlest gifts, a moment of pure stillness, shared only with the early morning light. The first touch of sunrise, slowly, so slowly, you almost don't notice it at first. The sky begins to brighten. A warm glow rises. Behind the distant hills, a soft golden haze that spreads gently across the horizon. The light touches the tops of the trees, then the frozen lake. And finally, you. The ice responds with quiet brilliance, a shimmer of pale gold that dances across the surface. No sound accompanies the sunrise. It arrives gently, like a whispered blessing. You feel its warmth, even through the cold. A subtle reminder that winter, too, holds moments of returning light. You close your eyes and let the glow settle deep into your chest. It feels like hope, soft, steady hope, the calm after sunrise. When you open your eyes, the lake shines brighter, bathed now in full morning light. But nothing rushes, nothing stirs suddenly. The world accepts the sun with the same calm that it accepted the night. You rise from the bench, slowly, your body warm with peaceful stillness. The air feels softer, the light feels kinder, and the snow beneath your feet seems to welcome each step. As you begin your quiet walk back toward the village, behind you, the frozen lake remains a mirror of morning, silent, glowing, eternally patient, a gift from winter's heart, returning to the village. As you approach the first cottages, thin trails of smoke rise from chimneys. Windows glow faintly with the first fires of the day. Someone carries a bucket of water. A child peeks sleepily from a frosted window. A dog stretches and curls back into a ball. Life begins to move again, slowly, peacefully, and you carry with you the calm of the lake, the stillness of the dawn, the quiet glow of winter light. The world feels warmer now. Your heart feels lighter, and the day begins with softness. If you'd like another scene, a storyteller's cottage, a mountain sunrise, a hidden winter library, a warm bakery opening at dawn, or anything else, imagine now that the day has drifted peacefully onward, and the sun has begun its slow descent toward evening. The village behind you is calm. Children play in the snow. Smoke curls from chimneys, and the world is dipped in that soft golden glow that winter afternoons wear so beautifully. You wrap your warm cloak closer, take a few steady breaths, and begin following a path toward the low hills beyond the village. The snow along the trail is untouched except for the faint prints of a hare that passed through earlier in the day. The air smells of pine. A gentle breeze brings the scent of wood smoke from somewhere far ahead. You know who lives there, in a small cottage nestled between pine trees, a place where stories flow as naturally as winter springs. An old storyteller, a keeper of tales, a gentle voice in the quiet of winter. And tonight, you are going to visit. The cottage comes into view as you crest a small rise. You see it, a tiny cottage with a steep roof to keep the winter snow from weighing it down. Warm light spills from the windows, glowing softly through the frosted glass. A thin line of smoke rises from the stone chimney, curling upward into the evening air. The cottage looks as though it grew from the landscape itself, wood worn smooth by wind and time. A door made of thick planks, and a small porch where firewood is stacked neatly for the long nights. As you approach, a faint hum of singing reaches your ears, an old melody, soft and slow, woven with affection. For the quiet season, you step onto the porch. The old wood creaks gently under your weight, and with a calm breath, you knock softly on the door. Welcome into the warmth. The door opens with a warm burst of light and the soft scent of spices. The storyteller stands there, wrapped in a thick wool sweater, eyes kind and bright, even in the dimming light. They smile, as if they've been expecting you. With a gentle wave of the hand, they invite you inside. The cottage is warm, lit by several candles, and the steady glow of a fire crackling in the hearth. Shelves line the walls, not filled with books, but with objects that carry stories. A carved wooden bird, a stone worn smooth by river water, a dried sprig of lavender, tied with a simple string, bundles of wool, clay cups, little wooden boxes, holding treasures from seasons long past. Every item feels familiar, even if you've never seen it before. Every corner of the cottage radiates gentle history. The storyteller gestures toward a chair near the hearth. Sit, they say softly. You've brought the winter in with you. Warm yourself. The hearthside tea. You settle into the chair, feeling its smooth, worn wood, perfectly shaped by years of quiet evenings. The storyteller sets a kettle over the fire, and soon the room fills with the scent of warm herbs, mint, chamomile, and a hint of dried apple. They pour you a cup and place it gently in your hands. The mug is warm. The steam rises like a soft ribbon, carrying with it a sense of calm that drifts straight into your chest. Outside the window, snow begins to fall, a fine, quiet dust that floats downward like dream thread. Inside, the cottage glows with golden light. You sip the tea. It is soothing, slightly sweet, and deeply comforting. The storyteller sits across from you, hands wrapped around their own cup. Winter, they say softly, has a way of bringing out the truths we carry quietly. Their voice is gentle, steady, almost a whisper. You feel your body soften into the chair as they begin their tale. A slow, comforting story. The story they tell is the kind that flows like a calm river, not fast, not dramatic, just soft, steady, and warm. It's a story of a winter long ago, of a traveler lost in snow, found by a small village that welcomed them with simple food and warm fire. It's a story of kindness offered freely, of doors opened without hesitation, of blankets shared with strangers who arrived cold and weary. It's a story of people who had little but gave generously because winter taught them that warmth grows when it is shared. As the storyteller speaks, their voice blends with the crackling fire, with the soft sighs of the wind, with the gentle clink of cups on wooden tables. The story wraps around you like a thick woolen shawl. You feel yourself drifting deeper into calm, your breath slow, your heart steady, your mind resting in a peaceful fog. The end of the tale. When the storyteller finishes, they place another log on the fire. Sparks rise, glowing orange, then fade into the dark chimney. For a moment, silence fills the room. Not an empty silence, but a comforting one. You look around the cottage and feel as though you've stepped into a timeless place, a place where stories are grown like fruit, ripened in the warmth of long winter nights. The storyteller smiles softly. You've carried a long year. They say, let the winter lighten it for you. Let rest do its quiet work. Their words settle into your heart, gentle, true, like snow resting on evergreen branches. A slow walk back through the snow. When you finally rise to leave, the storyteller hands you a small piece of dried lavender, wrapped in twine, for peaceful dreams, they say. You step outside. The night is quiet. The snow glows faintly. In moonlight, you walk slowly, back toward the village. The scent of lavender, soft in your hand, the warmth of the story, still drifting in your mind. Your footsteps are unhurried. Your body feels light. Your thoughts float, like snowflakes. When you reach the inn, you slip inside silently, your heart full of the story's gentle warmth. You lie down, pull the blankets to your chin, and fall into sleep, as softly as winter falling on quiet hills. If you'd like another winter dream, imagine you are walking through a forest blanketed in snow. It is late afternoon, and the winter light has softened into a gentle blue glow. The trees stand tall around you, their branches wrapped in white, as if dressed for a silent winter celebration. Your breath forms soft clouds as you move along the narrow trail. Your boots press into the snow with a calming crunch, slow, steady, like a quiet rhythm meant to soothe the mind. The forest is completely still. Only the faintest whisper of wind moves through the branches. You feel peaceful here, wrapped by nature, held by silence, guided by instinct, toward something warm and welcoming. Ahead, barely visible at first, you notice a dim golden glow. Between the trees, you walk toward it, drawn by its gentle warmth. A library hidden in winter's quiet. As you step closer, a small stone building appears between the trees. It looks ancient, made of smooth, rounded stones, collected from riverbeds. Long ago, snow rests thickly on the roof. A thin column of smoke rises from its chimney, curling upward into the cold air. Above the wooden door hangs a lantern, its flame flickering softly, casting a warm pool of light onto the freshly fallen snow. This place feels familiar, even though you've never seen it. A winter library, quiet, hidden, waiting for anyone who needs its peace. You brush snow from your shoulders and step toward the door. It opens easily, as if it has been waiting for you. Inside the winter library, warm air envelops you instantly. Soft, gentle, carrying the scent of old books, pine wood, and faint winter spices. You close the door behind you and look around. Shelves line the walls, made of rich, dark wood that glows softly in the firelight. Books of every shape and size rest on those shelves, some tall and leather-bound, some small and wrapped in simple cloth covers. A fire burns steadily in a stone hearth, casting a warm golden glow across the entire room. The flames move slowly, as though respecting the hush of the place. A large wooden table sits at the center, covered with parchment, ink, and tiny dried flowers pressed between pages. A long rug stretches across the floor, softening your footsteps into complete silence. The whole room feels like a sanctuary, a refuge for the quiet mind, a soft place to rest. In the heart of winter, a keeper of stories, at a small writing desk, near the hearth, sits the librarian, an elder with gentle eyes, wrapped in thick wool robes, their hair silver, like the snowy world outside. They look up at you with a slow, knowing smile, the kind that says they understand why you're here, without a single word spoken. Welcome, they say softly. There is warmth here. Sit wherever you like. The library is yours tonight. Their voice is calm, low, comforting, as steady as winter itself. They return quietly to their writing, the scratch of the quill, barely audible, over the crackle of the fire. You walk slowly around the room, absorbing its peaceful presence. Every shelf, every book, every shadow carries a soft, ancient calm that seems to settle into your chest. Choosing a book, your fingers brush along the spines of books as you walk. Some are cool and smooth. Some are textured, like woven cloth. Some smell faintly of pressed flowers or old ink. You choose one without thinking, a book with a faded cover and soft edges worn by many hands. You carry it to a cozy reading nook beside the fire. The chair there is deep and comfortable, its cushions soft and inviting. You sit down and feel warmth wrap around your legs, your arms, your shoulders. The fire glows beside you. The room rests in gentle silence. You open the book. Inside are stories of winter, old tales of snow-covered villages, warm hearths, gentle kindness, and soft-spoken miracles that arrive quietly in the coldest months. You read slowly, your eyes drifting over each word, like a calm stream flowing through your mind. Each story relaxes you more. Each line softens you. Each page feels like a warm breath against your tired thoughts. The deepest quiet, when you pause to rest your eyes, you hear the library breathing, the steady crackle of the fire, the faint rustle of pages turning, the librarian's quill gliding softly across parchment. Through a frosted window, you see snow falling again, slow, steady, endlessly peaceful. The flakes drift downward, like feathers released from a dreaming bird. The world is quiet. The library is warm. Your mind is weightless. You close the book gently and let it rest on your lap. The room feels safe, timeless, filled with a warmth that seems to reach all the way to your heart. You breathe deeply, slowly, as sleep begins to wrap itself around your thoughts. Falling asleep in the winter library. The chair cradles you like a soft nest. The fire crackles softly, as if whispering a lullaby made of embers. Your eyes grow heavy. Your breathing grows slower. Your body grows warm and comfortably heavy. The librarian notices your drifting posture and smiles kindly. Rest, they murmur, their voice barely above a whisper. Winter is a season for gentle sleep. You let your eyes close completely. The smell of old books, the warmth of fire, the hush of snow outside, the soft turning of a page somewhere nearby. It all blends into one soothing cloud of comfort, and you fall asleep deeply, quietly, held by the ancient calm of the winter library. If you'd like another dreamlike place, perhaps a mountain sunrise, a candle workshop, a baker's warm kitchen, or a hidden winter garden, imagine that you wake in the early hours of a winter morning. The world is still. Your body feels rested. A soft light from the dimming stars filters through your window. You rise slowly, dress in warm layers, and step outside into the cool, crisp air. Your breath forms little clouds that float upward and disappear. The village lies quiet below, its rooftops covered in snow, its chimneys still asleep. But today, you feel a gentle pull, an urge to walk toward the mountains. Not far, not fast, just a slow climb toward a nearby ridge where the world widens and the sky feels close. You follow a narrow path, lined with tall pines, their needles carrying soft traces of freshly fallen snow. The forest is quiet, except for the soft sound of your steps. The sky above is beginning to brighten, with hints of peach and pale silver. You walk slowly, breathing deeply, feeling the calm rise within you. With every step toward the heights, reaching the ridge before dawn. When you reach the top of the ridge, the world opens like a quiet miracle. Below you lies the village, small cottages dotting the valley, their roofs glowing softly under the blue-gray light of early morning. Smoke begins to rise from a few chimneys, thin spirals curling into the chilled air. Beyond the village, the fields stretch outward like a white quilt, stitched with winding fences and sleeping trees. Farther still, the mountains rise, their peaks sharp and pure against the pale horizon. Snow rests on their shoulders like layers of soft white wool. And above it all, the sky is preparing to welcome the dawn. You stand on the ridge, your cloak wrapped around you, and feel the entire world quietly awakening. The first touch of light. Then, slowly, delicately, the sun begins to rise. A soft ribbon of gold slides over the horizon. It touches the tips of the mountains first, turning them from cool blue to warm, glowing amber. The light spills downward, like honey melting over sleeping slopes. It reaches the forest below, turning the pine needles into tiny threads of gold. Then the fields, where each snowdrift glitters like crushed pearls under the first rays of morning. And finally, the village. The rooftops begin to glow. The windows glint gently, as if waking from a long dream. The entire valley shifts from night into day with such softness that your heart expands just watching it happen. You breathe in deeply. The cold air feels fresh, alive, full of quiet promise. A village waking slowly. As the sun lifts higher, the village begins to stir. A door opens. A soft sweep of snow falls from a cottage roof. A dog shakes itself awake and trots through the fresh drifts. A rooster crows faintly from somewhere near the barns. A farmer appears, carrying a small lantern. As he steps out into the morning, its light is faint now, compared to the rising sun, but it glows with familiar warmth. You watch from the ridge, as life begins gently, without rush, without noise, with the soft, steady rhythm of winter mornings, known for centuries. Everything feels peaceful, grounded, real, and perfectly calm. Sitting in the sun's gentle warmth, you find a smooth, flat stone near the edge of the ridge and sit down for a moment. The sun warms your face, even through the winter chill. Your cloak wraps around you, like a soft cocoon. From your high perch, you can hear distant sounds, tiny echoes, carried gently on the cold air. Wood being chopped, a door hinge opening, children's sleepy laughter, the soft jingle of a cowbell. Farther down the hill, each sound is simple, ordinary, yet somehow soothing. A reminder that life continues in small, peaceful movements. You close your eyes for a few breaths. The sunlight rests over your eyelids like soft gold. The mountain air fills your lungs with clean, steady quiet. Your thoughts drift like slow clouds. Your body relaxes fully. Morning is here, and it feels like a blessing. The descent back to the valley. After resting as long as you like, you rise slowly and begin your gentle walk back down the mountain path. The snow is softer under the warm light. The trees shimmer with tiny drops of ice, melting peacefully. Each step carries a sense of grounded calm. By the time you reach the forest, at the base of the ridge, the village is awake. Fires lit, bread baking, voices carried lightly through the cold air. You walk toward it with a warm heart, carrying the sunrise inside you like a quiet ember, a small steady glow that stays long after the light leaves the sky. If you'd like the next bonus scene, perhaps a cozy candle maker's workshop, a warm village bakery, a frozen river under starlight, or a winter holiday fair, imagine wandering through the village as evening settles softly over rooftops and chimneys. The sky is a gentle shade of pale violet, the last light of day, fading into winter stillness. Windows begin to glow, one by one, with the warm shimmer of candles, small flames holding back the night with their quiet courage. As you move slowly along the snowy lane, you notice one cottage that shines a little brighter than the rest. Its windows flicker with soft amber light, as if dozens of tiny stars have been gathered inside. This is the candle maker's workshop, a place where light is shaped by hand to warm the winter world, drawn gently by the glow. You walk toward it, entering the warm workshop. When you open the wooden door, a wave of warm, fragrant air embraces you. The space is lit entirely by candlelight, a soft golden atmosphere that soothes the eyes and quiets the mind. Rows of candles in every stage of creation fill the workshop, freshly poured candles, still cooling in their molds, tall, slender tapers hanging from wooden racks, short, round candles arranged neatly on a wide oak table. The room smells of beeswax, sweet, earthy, comforting. It is a scent that seems to settle gently into your chest, warming you from the inside out. The candle maker looks up, smiling softly, as though welcoming an old friend. "Come in," they say with warmth. It's a good evening to make light. The calm rhythm of candle making. You step deeper into the workshop. The candle maker moves with slow, practiced grace, pouring warm wax into clay molds, cutting wicks from long spools of cotton, stirring a pot of golden wax, warming over a small hearth. Every movement is deliberate, gentle, peaceful. There is no rush, no noise, just the soft flow of a craft that has warmed winter nights. For centuries, they invite you to stand beside them. As they work, you watch the wax swirl, a pool of molten gold, glowing softly in the firelight. The sight alone slows your heartbeat. You breathe in deeply, the smell of beeswax soothing your mind like a whispered lullaby. Dipping the candles, the candle maker hands you a pair of long wicks tied together at the top. Would you like to try? They ask gently. You nod. They guide your hands to hold the wick steady. Together, you dip them into the warm wax, slowly, smoothly, letting the liquid coat them in a thin golden layer. Then you lift them, letting the wax cool in the workshop's soft air. Before dipping again, the process is steady, quiet, almost meditative. Dip, lift, cool, dip again. With each motion, the candles grow thicker, layer upon layer, of warmth and patience. The candle maker hums softly as you work together. A tune, without words, felt more than heard. A winter lullaby, born of years spent in this peaceful craft. Your shoulders loosen, your breath deepens. You feel calm in the deepest part of yourself. The workshop at its warmest glow. As more candles are finished, the workshop becomes brighter, not harshly, but beautifully. Dozens of flames dance gently from every corner of the room. They flicker against the walls, reflecting off warm wax, casting small shadows that sway and shift like soft-moving spirits of winter's quiet nights. The light feels alive, kind, ancient. The candle maker begins, placing new candles on the windowsill, one by one. Outside, the world grows darker as night settles fully. But inside, the workshop glows like a tiny sun, made of peace. The contrast is comforting. Cold outside, warm inside, dark outside, light here with you, harsh world beyond, gentle flame within, a gift of light. When your pair of dipped candles has finished cooling, the candle maker hands them to you. They're yours, they say softly, for your nights ahead, to guide you, to warm you, to remind you that winter always carries light. You hold the candles carefully. They are smooth and warm. Their scent is sweet. Their wicks are soft and neat. A small gift, a humble one, but full of meaning. You feel gratitude, a warm, comforting feeling that settles deep into your chest. Stepping back into the winter night, you thank the candle maker and step outside again. Night has arrived completely. Snowflakes drift downward in slow, silent spirals, melting as they land on your warm hands. The windows of the workshop shine brightly behind you, a cluster of candles glowing through frost. You hold the two candles close to your heart as you walk back toward the village. The snow is soft beneath your feet. Your breath is relaxed. Your body feels warm from the inside out. With each step, the gift of the workshop lingers within you, a sense of calm, a memory of warmth, a gentle reminder that even in the coldest season, there is always a flame, waiting to glow. You return to your room, place the candles on the table, and lie down quietly beneath warm covers. Your eyes grow heavy. Your breathing slows. The night settles softly around you, and you drift into peaceful sleep with the promise of light close at hand. If you'd like the next soft dream chapter, perhaps a village bakery at dawn, a snow-covered bridge, a quiet bell tower, or a warm winter kitchen, imagine the world just beginning to lighten with dawn. The sky is a soft gray blue, still holding the hush of night. Snow rests in gentle folds across rooftops and fences. Smoke rises lazily from a few chimneys, curling upward into the still morning air. Your breath forms puffs of white as you walk slowly down the village lane. Most cottages are still asleep, their windows dark, their doors closed, but one warm glow shines softly ahead, steady and inviting. The bakery, the first building in the village to awaken each morning. You walk closer. The air around you begins to change. A faint warm scent drifts through the cold. Yeast, fresh dough, and a hint of cinnamon. It reaches you like a gentle welcome. The bakery's door opens. As you approach, the wooden door to the bakery is slightly ajar. Warm light spills onto the snowy ground, golden and soft, against the cold blue dawn. You step inside. The warmth wraps around you instantly, like stepping into a blanket, fresh from the hearth. The room glows with candlelight and the soft fire burning in the oven. Flour dust floats in the air, catching the light like tiny winter stars. Wooden tables are covered with rising dough, braided loaves, and trays of soft rolls, waiting to bake. The baker looks up from kneading dough, smiles quietly, and nods a greeting, a silent, gentle welcome to the warm heart of a winter morning. The sound of a peaceful kitchen. You step farther inside, drawn by the comforting sounds, the soft thumping of dough being folded and pressed on the table, the gentle hum of the baker's breath as they work without hurry, the quiet crackle of the fire inside the oven, warming the brick walls of the bakery. A kettle near the hearth lets out a faint sigh as it reaches a soft simmer. All the sounds blend into a single soothing rhythm, a winter morning melody that seems to relax every muscle in your body. The baker motions to a small wooden stool near the table. You sit. The warmth sinks into your hands, your feet, your shoulders. This is a place where worry cannot enter, where the day begins with simple comfort and quiet purpose. Fresh dough and rising bread. The baker places a lump of dough onto the table beside you. It is warm and soft, like holding a piece of gentle winter sunshine. They invite you to touch the dough, to feel the smooth elasticity, the softness beneath your fingertips. You press lightly. The dough gives way and then springs back with a patient grace. The baker works quietly, shaping loaves with practiced hands, tucking the edges inward, rolling gently, smoothing the top, placing each loaf onto a wooden board, dusted with flour. Every motion is slow and calming, like watching waves roll onto a quiet shore. The dough rises near the warm oven, expanding gently, as if breathing softly. In the cozy heat, the room fills with the promise of fresh bread, the first loaves of the morning. When the dough is ready, the baker slides a board of loaves into the brick oven. You hear the faint hiss of dough meeting heat, a comforting sound, soft and satisfying. The scent begins to grow, warm, sweet, and deeply soothing. It fills the bakery like a soft embrace, curling into every corner and drifting into your senses. With quiet joy, you close your eyes briefly and breathe it in. Fresh bread, warm oven, winter morning. This scent has comforted people for centuries, and now it surrounds you, settling into your thoughts like a gentle lullaby. A warm cup by the hearth. The baker pours you a warm drink, spiced milk, steamed gently over the hearth. You wrap your hands around the mug. It feels perfect, heavy, warm, reassuring. You sip it slowly. It tastes of honey, soft spices, and quiet contentment. You sit by the hearth and let the warmth sink deeper into your body. Behind you, the oven door opens softly, and the baker lifts out the first loaves. Steam rises. The scent deepens. It is almost overwhelming. In its comfort, a kind of peace you feel all the way, down to your bones. Bread for the village. A few early villagers begin to arrive. A shepherd with frost on his boots. A mother carrying a child, still half asleep. An older man, wrapped in a heavy cloak. They enter quietly, their breath slowing, as the warmth of the bakery wraps around them. The baker hands out the fresh loaves, still warm, still soft, still fragrant, with the spirit of a winter morning. You watch each person receive their bread with gratitude so gentle, you can almost feel it. Winter can be cold, hard, long, but a warm loaf at dawn is a gift that eases the season. For everyone, leaving with warm bread in your hands, the baker turns to you, slices a small loaf, and wraps it carefully in cloth for your morning. They say softly. The bread radiates warmth through the cloth, through your hands, through your heart. You step outside again, into the pale winter light. Snow sparkles in the early sun. The village begins to wake gently. You walk slowly back along the lane, holding the warm bread close to your chest. Your breath is calm. Your body is light. Your thoughts are soft. This morning has filled you with a quiet kind of happiness. Simple, ancient, deeply human. And as the steam rises from the fresh loaf in your hands, you feel the warmth of the bakery still glowing inside you. A warmth that will stay all through the winter day. If you're ready for the next dreamy winter scene, maybe a snow-covered stone bridge, a village bell tower, a cozy herbalist's workshop, or a lantern-lit winter fair, imagine that evening has come quietly to the winter village. The sky is a soft lavender, that tender shade that appears right before twilight settles fully. Snow drifts down in slow spirals, unhurried, peaceful, each flake catching a faint hint of purple and silver light. You wrap your cloak a little tighter and begin to walk toward the edge of the village, where an old stone bridge crosses a narrow, frozen river. The air is cool, but the snow is soft. Beneath your boots, your footsteps sound gentle, like a quiet rhythm, meant to guide you into deeper calm. The trees along the path are dusted with white, their branches bending slightly under the weight of winter's beauty. Everything feels hushed, as if the world is speaking in whispers meant only for you. Approaching the ancient bridge, as you follow the snowy path, the bridge comes slowly into view. It is old, very old, made of thick, rounded stones, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps and winter storms. Snow rests on its arch, like a soft white blanket. A lantern hangs from a wooden post beside the bridge, its flame swaying gently in the quiet evening breeze. The golden light falls across the stonework in soft, trembling patterns. The frozen river below is coated in a thin layer of frost, glittering faintly, like powdered silver, scattered across glass. You pause at the edge of the bridge, not because you are tired, but because this place invites stillness. It feels like stepping into a peaceful memory. Crossing the bridge slowly, you place one foot on the first stone step. The snow compresses softly beneath you. Not a loud sound, just a faint, comforting crunch. You walk slowly upward, along the gentle rise of the arch. Halfway across, you stop. From this height, the view is quiet and expansive. To your left, the forest stretches outward, dark and still, its pines softened by thick layers of snow. To your right, the village glows faintly, little windows flickering with warm candlelight, chimneys puffing out slow curls of smoke into the evening air. Beneath the bridge, the frozen river rests in complete silence. The world feels paused, tender, deeply, deeply calm. You breathe in slowly, letting the cold air fill your lungs with clarity. You breathe out softly, as though exhaling a long-held worry, and the snow continues to fall around you, like soft drifting feathers. Listening to winter's quiet voices, you stand on the center of the bridge for as long as you wish. There is no rush here, no noise, no demands, only small, gentle sounds that soothe the heart. The faint flutter of wind brushing past your ear, the soft landing of snowflakes on your cloak and hair, the quiet groan of old wood from the lantern post, swaying ever so slightly. Each sound is subtle, peaceful, and deeply grounding. The bridge has stood here through countless winters, holding stories from the old world, carrying the footsteps of people long gone and people yet to come. And now, it carries you, cradling your presence in its timeless calm. A moment of soft reflection. Lean gently on the stone railing. The surface is cool under your glove, but not unkind. Look out at the snowy world from this quiet vantage point. Notice how the twilight makes everything softer, gentler, as though winter has wrapped the land in a dream. Let your mind drift where it wishes. Think of nothing important, nothing urgent, just the simple comfort of being here, on this ancient bridge, held in a world made of snow and silence and soft golden lantern light. Your breath slows, your shoulders loosen, your heartbeat settles into an easy rhythm. This moment is enough. Crossing to the far side. When you're ready, you continue across the bridge. To the far side, the descent is gentle, each step carrying the same quiet sound of snow meeting stone. The lantern behind you casts a soft glow that follows you a little, as if giving its blessing for your continued walk. The river bends into the distance, a ribbon of frozen silver, running through the winter landscape. You take a few more steps, turn around, and look back at the bridge. It glows softly in the twilight, like a memory suspended between night and day. You feel grateful for this peaceful moment, for the stillness, for the snow, for the gentle warmth in your chest. Then you turn once more and begin your slow walk back toward the village. The snow falls lightly around you. The sky deepens into evening, and every step draws you further into restful calm. If you'd like the next peaceful winter scene, perhaps a quiet bell tower, a herbalist's cottage, a snowy cathedral, or a lantern-lit winter fair, imagine evening settling peacefully over the winter village once more. The sky has deepened into a soft shade of blue-gray, and the first stars have begun to shimmer faintly above the rooftops. Lanterns glow along the lanes. Smoke rises in calm spirals from warm chimneys, and snow falls lightly, quietly, in drifting flakes that settle on window ledges and fences. Tonight, you feel drawn toward the edge of the village square, to the tall, gentle silhouette of the bell tower. It has stood there for centuries, a quiet guardian of winter nights, of peaceful mornings, of soft ringing hours that echo through the valley. You walk toward it slowly, breathing in the crisp air, feeling the calm settle around your shoulders like a soft wool cloak. Standing before the old bell tower, when you reach the base of the tower, you pause for a moment. The structure rises above you. Simple stone walls, a pointed roof dusted with snow, and narrow windows that catch the lantern light in warm golden glimmers. The wooden door at the foot of the tower is slightly open, as if inviting you to step inside. The bell tower has a presence, not heavy, not imposing, but deeply peaceful, a place that has listened to countless winter nights and never lost its calm. You gently push the door open and enter inside the tower's stillness. The interior of the bell tower is warmly lit by a few small lanterns placed along the walls. The air holds the scent of old wood, stone, and faint traces of incense from long ago. Your footsteps on the wooden floor echo softly, a tender sound that seems to ripple upward toward the higher levels of the tower. In the center of the room is a spiral staircase, narrow, winding, made from aged timbers, smooth from years of gentle use. You place your hand on the railing. It is cool, comforting, solid, and you begin your quiet ascent, the climb through warm light and shadows. Step by step, you move upward, The lanterns cast soft light that dances on the stone walls. As you climb, your footsteps fall into a calm rhythm. Slow, steady, unhurried. Above you, you can hear the faint hum of wind moving through the tower's windows. Not harsh, not cold, just a gentle whisper as it brushes past the old wood. About halfway up, you pause at a small landing. There is a narrow window cut into the stone wall. You lean toward it and look outside. The village below glows with warm lights. Snow falls slowly, each flake drifting downward. In peaceful silence, the view feels timeless, as though winter itself is holding the village in a soft embrace. You continue climbing, your breath easy and calm, reaching the bell room. At the top of the staircase, you enter a wide open chamber. The famous bell hangs above you. Massive, beautiful, silent now. It's dark metal, dusted with traces of frost. Wooden beams cross overhead, their surfaces glowing. In the lantern light, a thin breeze moves through the tall windows, bringing with it the faint scent of winter air. You stand beneath the bell, feeling the expansiveness of the room. It is quiet, so quiet that even your breath feels like part of the stillness. This is a room built for sound, for deep, resonant notes that once drifted across snowy valleys. But tonight, it offers silence instead. Beautiful, calm, healing silence. A moment beside the bell, you walk slowly to the largest window. From here, you can see the entire valley, a landscape of snow, trees, lantern lights, and distant hills. Wrapped in winter dusk, the stars shine brighter now, their cold light twinkling softly through thin layers of cloud. You rest your hands on the windowsill, the stone chilled, the air crisp. For a long moment, you simply breathe. Every worry seems far away. Every thought slows to a gentle drift. Every part of you relaxes as the quiet night holds you safely in its calm embrace. The old bell, silent above you, seems to hum quietly in its stillness. Not a sound, but a presence, a reminder that even things meant to ring loudly can also hold deep peace. Climbing back down slowly, when you are ready, you turn from the window and begin the descent. Your steps fall softly, slowly, echoing gently in the tower's quiet heart. You reach the bottom, push open the wooden door, and step back into the night. The air feels fresh. The snow falls lightly, dusting your hair and your cloak. The village looks peaceful, its windows glowing softly, its lanes hushed and calm. And inside your chest, you carry the serenity of the bell tower, a stillness that feels deep and lasting, returning home with the calm of the bell tower. As you walk home, your steps are steady, your breath slow, your thoughts gentle. Winter night wraps around you like a soft blanket. When you reach your room, you settle beneath warm covers, your body sinking into a state of perfect rest. Your mind drifts like falling snow. Your heart rests like the silent bell, and sleep comes quietly, deep, warm, and peaceful. If you'd like the next soft winter chapter, perhaps a herbalist's cottage, a snowy cathedral, a lantern-lit winter fair, or a quiet lakeside cabin,